an incredible new book. Tell us a little bit about this incredible book, my friend.
Thank you. Humbly so. Appreciate the wonderful compliment. So my book, I have it right here. It's entitled Dr. Marsha and the Case of the Missing Hot Dogs and Marshmallows.
Yep.
Essentially, my character is Dr. Marsha Rue, or Doctoroo. So she's a female kangaroo doctor whose mission is to promote health and fight illness all around the globe. Fantastic.
So tell us a little bit about the writing process for this incredible book.
Well, I've always had a love for writing. I do write novels and screenplays, and this is a little bit of a stretch. I didn't know if I could write a children's book, but I just started writing sort of just simple statements, in terms of, what I wanted to communicate. I did work with a great publisher, Tara Richter Publishing Company. So she helped me edit it to make sure that it was all intended for the same age. And as it turns out, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. You just sort of communicate simply the thoughts that you have. So
That's awesome. So this book, incredibly well written. You've put a lot of time and effort into the book. What do you want readers to take away from your writing?
Thank you. Well, I intend Doctoroo to be a really positive role model for kids and adults alike. She has a couple of pals. Her animal pals bring in a little bit of the adversarial stuff, so that Doctoroo is able to politely correct them about what's healthy and what's not. I want a healthy message for America and beyond. This is an international character, so I'd really like what she says, the content of what she says, to have an impact on people in a healthy way. In a world where we're exposed to so many different influences, I think this is a good, wholesome character that will just teach basic common sense health practices for kids and parents of young children, basically ages 5 to 7.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. So
I tested this on my niece and nephew. They're 8 and 10, and they read Harry Potter, but they loved this book too.
That's awesome. You had a test audience. I think that's cute. Yeah. So this book, you've put a lot of time and effort into the book. It is an amazing book. So what made you decide to put this book together?
Like I said, my only limitation was not believing that I could write for children. Just not being certain that I could do it, and I'm also not an illustrator, so that was Tara's help. Her illustrations are really beautiful, and by the way, we're about to come out with a book 2, which is about hand washing and germs, very apropos.
Oh, that's awesome! That's fantastic.
Yeah, apropos to COVID times. But so I think I always had this character, this Doctoroo, in my head. I always felt that she could be a very positive influence, not only in books, hopefully as a character in general. And just like I said, the big block was telling myself, okay, Rachel, you can try to write for children. Let's do it. See what happens. Yeah. And I just did it. So I would encourage anyone who has a dream not to let the little voices that tell them not to do it. Don't listen to them.
That's great. So what's been the feedback from folks that you have you have given this book to, or peers, or in any kind of feedback, criticism, in anything at all?
Well, first of all, this is selling on Amazon.com, and I think a couple of other places like Barnes & Nobles. But there are some really nice reviews on Amazon, basically detailing, like I said, what a positive role model Doctoroo is, and, sort of the colorful mystery that she engages upon to find out who stole the hot dogs and marshmallows from the Washington 4th of July picnic. So there's a little bit of a twist ending because the animals are confused. They said, Doctoroo, we thought that these were not healthy foods that we're supposed to eat. And the twist message is, there are always exceptions. There are times when sweets and salty foods are okay once in a while. So everything in moderation.
That's
awesome. So the entire journey takes us on, a broad look at how one should eat healthfully, and where sort of treats fit into that picture. So.
That's tremendous. That is tremendous. So, with the writing and everything, did you have any type of as far as the influences? Did you have any mentors or influences or anything that you took to bring this book to life?
This is hard to say. I myself, I'm a surgeon, and when I was about 19, I took my first. I set up a global mission in Nicaragua. I was fortunate enough to work with C. Everett Koop, who was the Surgeon General at the time, and
that's awesome.
He was a huge mentor, and that was what he was doing. He was, prior to his position in federal position, he was doing a lot of travel to Africa and other places. So, sort of these types that would go all over the world and provide health to the underserved. And I began doing that myself early in my career, and that's what I would say inspired this globetrotting character, interested in bringing basic health to children and adults of all different places and nations. So
that's awesome. That's fantastic. So is there a follow-up planned? I know that you mentioned that you're going to be doing a second book. Is that basically what this is, or
it's going to be Doctoroo and the case of the coughing hippo? I don't want to give too much away, but Hilda the hippo is an opera star, and she can't stop coughing. And the mystery is going to be to figure out what's causing Hilda's cough, and how can we get her back on all fours, singing at the top of her vocal range in the opera. And it takes place in the Sydney Opera House. So this one's going to be local. Doctoroo is an Australian character. So that's going to be the next. But, this series, I have about, I have 5 or 6 at least treatments planned. Things like Doctoroo and the Red Hot Hawaiians, for instance, Hawaiians who are using sunblock.
That's awesome.
And so they get burned. So I'm trying to focus on really the most basic healthcare topics so that children can really understand them in a way that is comforting and not fearful and empowering for the young people of America and the world, as I said. So that's my next. Those will be the next projects that I tackle. You name it, any basic health problem you could think of, and I can write a Doctoroo story around it.
So tell me about the illustrations and putting some of that together, because that's an important part of the process, an important part of the book.
Beautiful illustrations. That came from Tara Richter and her publishing house, and herself and her in-house illustrators. They really did a great job in tying this together, because a children's book without great illustrations is not a good children's book. So
yes,
all credit to her.
That's great. So how did you find her? How did you get her involved in all this?
I work with a mutual friend named Tony Cutillo, and he has worked with her in the past. So he recommended this concept that I had over to her, and she was enthralled by the concept and got excited about the project. So we've been, working together to put together this great product. Fantastic. We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big program, Coast to Coast, Border to Border on iHeartRadio today. And Dr. Rachel Wellner is with us. She has been in the medical field for over 20 years and was one of the nation's best breast surgical oncologists. And she's been a driving force in her field and has won many awards for her achievements as well as for philanthropy. And so having this, I think we're back.
Yes. Having this book on Amazon, what's been the reception to that?
I'm sorry, I lost you for a little bit.
It's fine. It's technology. I wish we could just go back to the typewriter. Amazon. What's been the feedback from folks buying it on Amazon?
I've got some really nice feedback from Amazon. Everything from, your kids are going to love this book. And, Dr. Wellner writes a creative foray into the land of healthcare using these 4 animated characters. I have 4 characters that are staying throughout each book. There's Doctoroo, or Dr. Marsha. Marsha is supposed to be Marsha the marsupial, so there's a little play on words there. And there's Terrence Toad, who's her cranky little friend, but he learns the most along the way. She has a nurse helper, Kirby Koala, and there's awesome. The mailman, Louis Llama, who delivers the usually a message saying there is a crisis in this town or something to that effect. So, I've had a lot of comments on the mystery aspect of the book, that it's a great way to engage young children into the story and learn something about health along the way while they're not really thinking about learning about health. So a way to get kids to learn about it without it being a scary topic or just a topic that they're not interested in.
Fantastic. We have got a great guest with us today. She joins us live here on our big broadcast. And so give us the profile of the typical reader who's going to love this book.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I've given it out to family and friends, and I've been surprised. I thought only the 5 to 7-year-old would really go for this, but I have 50-year-old friends and parents much older who really like the book. So I've gotten a range of people enjoying the book, which is exciting to me. So I think even adults might like this book, not necessarily, for their absolute reading pleasure, but I think that they would enjoy it and read it to their kids for sure.
Well, this week we have got a great guest joining us here on the Quad Pod, Rachel Wellner with us here on Skype, and she joins us live here talking a little bit about this incredible book. And the good doctor is getting lots of rave reviews on her incredible book, and she has got more books planned. So this book has got a lot of great characters in the book. How do they parallel your life, and how is it different?
There you go. You can see all of them.
There it is. Yeah.
Wow. Do I have a sidekick, a mailman, and a Terrence Toad? I think I wish I had such a great clan of friends. I have friends all over the place. I'm lucky to say that I really have. I've known many good people in my life, and I would say many people probably inspired these characters. So, and I have a great family as well. So, I'm not sure that I have a Terrence Toad or a Kirby Koala or a Louis Llama, but I think they sprung from my imagination.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, as we wrap up here with you, my friend, how do people connect with you on social media and the websites and all these things?
Oh, that's great. Well, I have a LinkedIn profile, Dr. Rachel Wellner. I will be building a website for Doctoroo, so stay tuned, and that's coming. I am on Twitter, so Rachel Wellner. I think it's at Rachel Wellner. You should be able to find me on Twitter and Facebook. I am on Facebook as rbwellner@hotmail.com and rbwellner@gmail.com.
Fantastic.
Did I say that too quickly?
No. You're good.
But we'll be in the process of building a forum, and the book is on Amazon.com under my name, under Doctoroo with an exclamation point. Those are easy ways. Perhaps you can also let people know how they can arrive at the book so they can purchase if they like. And the book is being sold for $16.99 paperback and $6.99 if you want to buy it online.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you making time for us today. Thanks for coming on the Quad Pod and chatting with us, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Jiggy. It's been a real pleasure to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I look forward to doing it again. Have yourself a wonderful day, my friend.
Thank you so much. Yep.
Thank you, my friend. There she goes. That's Dr. Rachel Wellner.